The Minnesota Vikings have one of the best play callers in the National Football League in Kevin O'Connell, but his biggest flaw could end up costing the Vikings a Super Bowl. Let's talk about it. The Minnesota Vikings beat the Chicago Bears by a score of 30-12 on the first of a two-part Monday night doubleheader. It was a huge win for the Vikings as they continue to try to win the NFC North, which all they have to do is now win their final three games at the Seattle Seahawks, at home against the Green Bay Packers, and at the Detroit Lions. Now, they needed some help to get there, but the Buffalo Bills gave us that on Sunday. But now we need to focus on what's going on in Minnesota. Kevin O'Connell is one of the best play callers in football. He has generated the most explosive passing plays so far this season. Sam Darnold has been a renaissance, and you have a bevy of weapons on the outside for him to be able to throw to. It's a really, really impressive unit that Kevin O'Connell calls, but his biggest flaw continues to hinder him and hinder this offense's ability to continue to stack quality drives. Minnesota Vikings ran 71 plays against the Chicago Bears. Just 29 of them running attempts. And that includes a second half that was basically garbage time. When you take a look at ESPN and the win probability, that win probability was high. How high was it? Well, it was over 90% at the 4-minute mark left in the game. 4 minutes. That win probability chart was over 91%. That means you should be running the ball a lot. Well, the problem was that they didn't run the ball early and be able to try and really take over the game and put the game away quickly. Well, here's what the Vikings ended up doing. 37 plays in the first half. 37 of them. 10 rushes. Just 10 against one of the worst run defenses in football. And you have Gervon Dexter, the starting defensive tackle, out for the game. Why are you only calling 10 run plays? Why are you having 27 dropbacks for Sam Darnold? And you can obviously tell that he's just a tick off. And now I will give O'Connell credit. In the third quarter, he started to really realize that and then just started to pound the rock, and they were able to put the game away pretty easily. But you could have generated a lot more sustainability. You could have taken more time off the clock. You could have extended drives and gotten more points on the board. Not only did the Vikings run the ball 29 times for 114 yards, that could have been higher if they would have started early in the game, because Aaron Jones and Cam Akers were getting some chunk yardage plays. They were finding ways to get 5, 6, 10 yards a pop. And being able to generate some of those was a really, really big factor in being able to put this game away, but they could have done it earlier. And they could have sustained better drives. They could have made it so Sam Darnold wasn't taking hits. He hit his hand on another helmet today. He kept getting hit in the pocket. He obviously didn't feel comfortable because the Bears, all the credit in the world to them, they brought the pressure and they were really good at getting to Sam Darnold. Why wasn't there an adjustment from O'Connell? Why weren't they running the football? It's a question that we've been asking for a significant amount of time. When are they going to fix it? Because it's obviously not being fixed yet. This is going to be an issue come playoff time, when you need to run the football, when you have to have a willingness and a want to run the football as a play caller. Because eventually you're going to run into a buzzsaw. What happens if you run into the Eagles and they have a really, really good pass rush and a really, really good secondary, and the second level is more improved than arguably any in the National Football League? Well, if they stop the passing game, you better be able to run the football. Don't get to a point where you have to rely on the running game. Make it so you can rely on the running game now, so when that time comes where you have to, you're already comfortable with it. You're already in a mindset to do it. And I think that is the one thing that the Minnesota Vikings need to figure out, and if they can't, it could cost them the Super Bowl. I'm Tyler Forness with AZ Sports. Skol Vikings.